everybody, I'm Sandy Wolters and welcome to Sandy Spotlight. Today I'm introducing you to author Dee Ernst. She wrote a romantic comedy called Better Off Without Him. And I so enjoyed reading this book. First of all, y'all know me, you know that romance is my first #1 favorite genre. Romantic comedy, Dee Ernst can write it. The characters were phenomenal in this. The lead female character, Mona, I liked her from the very beginning. The interactions between her friends were phenomenal. They were funny. They were sad. This book just had everything in it. A cheating husband, a 40-plus woman that's been married for 20 years, getting a divorce and going through the whole dating process and getting dating advice from her teenage daughters, which was hysterical. So I found myself laughing out loud when I read this book, smiling. Even when I'd have to put it down for a little while to go do something, I'd think about this book because I wanted to see what was going to happen with Mona and how she was going to end up and if everything was going to be okay with her. So I really, really liked this character. Great read. You're going to love it. Please join us over at the book discussion. We're going to be having a book discussion that's going to run simultaneously with this blog. So it's going to be running for about 2 weeks. So if you haven't had a chance to read Better Off Without Him yet, and it sounds like something that you'd enjoy, pick it up, read it, then you can ask questions of the author. She'll be there to answer your questions. So have fun with it. And now I'm going to go ahead and introduce Dee Ernst. She's here to tell you about herself and tell you about this novel and tell you about her future work. So please share the blog with your friends, tweet your peeps, Facebook your friends, and enjoy the interview. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, and I want to thank Sandy for this opportunity to actually talk to you. Most author interviews are done online and there's just a bunch of words going back and forth. So hopefully this will give you an opportunity to see the real me, and maybe that'll encourage you to buy my book and enjoy it. I'm one of those people that always wanted to be a writer. When I was a little kid, I had notebooks full of scribbled stories. My blue Bic pen was my best friend. Now I realize that what I was writing was fan fiction. I would have my favorite TV show, and I would write stories about the characters in that TV show. I was little. I was only 10 or 12 years old, so I didn't have a big scope of things to draw from, but I knew what I knew on TV. So I wrote stories about TV characters. Of course, when I grew older, I wrote about other things, and I was always encouraged to write by my teachers and professors. But back in the 70s, there weren't a lot of creative writing programs you could go to. So if you wanted to pursue a career in creative writing, you just had to go out there and do it. I wanted a college education, so I stopped writing. And I did other things, and I had a family, and went on from there, and didn't think about writing for a very long time. When I was 40 years old, I found myself pregnant, and my husband said, well, why don't you just not work and have, raise your daughter at home, which was great. But after a couple of years of that, I was thinking about, what am I going to do now with the rest of my life? Do I want to go back to the business world? What am I going to do with myself? So that's when I decided to write again. My first manuscript got me nowhere. My second manuscript was a love story about a 40-something professor and a 20-something rock star. It was a real May-December cougar, if you don't mind my saying, before cougar was popular. My agent, I actually got an agent. She loved it, but she couldn't sell it because people that said, you know what, no one's going to buy this older woman, younger man thing. Of course, a year or two later it took off, but at the time it just fell flat, which was fine with me because it was a great experience to write the book, to work with my agent. Then I wrote Better Off Without Him because I wanted to write a kind of book that I wanted to read. I loved the chick lit books, but they were all about young girls that I could not identify with. I didn't spend $600 on a pair of shoes. I wasn't afraid of my boss. I didn't have all these silly little issues with my parents or my roommates. I was a woman with real issues, and I thought, you know what, maybe there's a book in there about someone who's older, who's experienced, who has to go forward from here, but can still do it in a funny way. And that's why I wrote Better Off Without Him, to bring that idea forward, that you can write a chick lit book that doesn't have to be about a chick. It can be about a real woman and still have a lot of humor and heart in it. So that's what Better Off Without Him was. I loved it. My agent loved it. We couldn't sell it. But that's when I decided to self-publish, and it wasn't necessarily to make a huge statement. It's because I thought, there's an audience out here. I'm not the only person who likes this book. I read all the time. I know when a book is good, and I thought my book was good. So I self-published it. It's been out there for over a year. I'm so pleased with how it's been doing. It warms my heart. I get emails from total strangers who say, I really like your book. Man, you can't beat that at all. That's why I write. So there's an audience, and for me to capture that audience is a great feeling. So we're having a book discussion about Better Off Without Him today here on the website, and I'm hoping that you're all going to participate. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask them. But by all means, go to my website. If you want, a couple of days from now, you think of something, drop me a line. I love hearing from my readers. It's a terrific way for me to interact and get more ideas. Yes, I am working on another book. It's going to be a little bit different. It's actually going to be a young adult book. But after that's over, I'm going to go forward again. I have another heroine in mind, a little bit older this time, a little bit braver. She's going to also be in a situation that could be tragic, but is going to turn out to be funny and warm, and I'll keep all of you posted on how that's going. Sandy, thanks a lot for this opportunity. It was really great to be able to talk to everybody. Thanks a lot.